Today you're going to need your pencil, a white piece of paper, sketchbook, your black marker, color pencils, and if you would like, you can use watercolors. Let's get started. Today we're going to be making a winter scene. I'm going to show you how to do it with color pencils, but if you would like later on, when we start to color in our winter scene, you can use watercolors. And a cool effect, I'll show it closer to you so you can see, is while it was still wet and I was blending the colors, I did red, purple, and blue. While I blend them, I threw some salt on top of it to give this cool kind of effect where it disperses and it makes it look like snow. And then I colored the rest in with watercolor. So I'm going to be showing the color pencil version, but if you would like to use watercolors, you're more than welcome to. All right, so let's go ahead and get out a blank piece of paper. We're going to start by pointing to the middle of the page, and we're just going to draw kind of a little, not perfectly straight line. It can be a little bit waving across the page. After we do that, we're going to go about 4 fingers from the bottom, maybe 5. Let's do 5 fingers from the bottom. We're going to draw a line that kind of waves from this corner and goes across over to here. This is our line that we're making right here, kind of our ground line. Then afterwards, we're going to go kind of right below to the opposite side of the page, and we're going to go ahead and make kind of a hill that comes down here. After we draw our lines, our next step will be, let's go ahead and draw this little part right here. So it doesn't matter where, we're just going to kind of draw a shape like this. It's kind of an elevated ground. And to give it some dimension, you're just going to do a little straight line down here and then follow that and get a little bit bigger as you go. And let's go ahead and draw some diagonal lines down there. Okay, the next step we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and draw the mountain range, and then we'll come in and draw our house. So for the mountain range, we want to make sure we have some sky. So I'm going to go at least 4 or 5 fingers from the top and draw a little line. So we have some sky to do our watercolor. So let's do 5 fingers from the top, draw a little line there. We're just going to go up and down. We're making 1, 2, 3, and we can go to a 4th bump if we can make it. So 1 smaller bump, then we're going to go up a bigger bump. That's our biggest one, a smaller one, and then I'm kind of going up to another one, but it goes off the page. So it's just kind of this waving line, and it doesn't have to be exactly like mine. Any kind of line would work. So now let's start with our first one. We're going to go to the top of the bump and put your pencil right in the middle. We're going to be making the shape that comes down and then attaches right back up here, and it looks like this. So we're just kind of going down and then coming back up, and then you can draw some diagonal lines in this. Now let's go to the next one. Let's go the middle of that bump. We're waving it down and then coming back up to where the peak goes down, and then we're going to go ahead and draw some diagonal lines in here. Come back here and we're going to wiggle down, come back up, draw those diagonal lines, and this one we barely see, but we're still going to just do a little sliver here and draw some lines. Now we're going to put these little pieces inside here to kind of make it look like snow and ice, and it's almost just like this, like, I don't know, it's almost like an oval, just an odd looking shape. And go ahead and draw some lines in there. So far we have our mountain range. And now we're going to add some trees. We want the trees in the background to be small and the trees in the foreground, the closest to us, to be big, and the stuff in the middle, the midground, to be in between these two. So let's start with the foreground. Let's go ahead right in here, and you're going to draw a tree. Now, for the tree, you can draw the trees like me. There's all these different types of trees that you can draw. All right, I'm just going to do the standard pine tree, where I'm just going to do a line, and I want to make them nice and big off to the side like this. And it doesn't matter how many lines you do, but we want to make it big, and it's going to go off the page so it feels like it's like in the foreground right here. If you'd like to do another one, you can. It does not have to look exactly like mine. You can put as many or as little trees as you want. So maybe I'll do a smaller one here next to it. And now let's go to here. So I'm going to draw one line here and another line here. This is going to be a smaller, this will be a bigger one. But we see the whole tree now. Whereas here we don't see the whole tree, which means this is a big tree and these are smaller. So we're starting to feel that perspective where we're going into the background. Now let's put one here on this line. Now we want this one to be about the same size or a little bit smaller, but as we go further back, they need to get smaller and smaller. So I'm going to put some trees on this line. And it's okay if some of them are similar in size. And then these ones in the background are just going to be really small little accents in the background, okay? So go ahead and add your trees. And if you ever need to hit pause, go ahead and hit pause and you can do some more trees. And again, they don't have to look exactly like mine. There's all different types you can do. You can follow these or make your own up. So now we're going to go ahead and draw the house, which is going to be right here. It's like our winter cottage or our cabin, our getaway. I drew it like this. I draw it differently every time. In my other scene, I drew it like this with the watercolor one. So, you know, it's whatever you feel. Here's some different types of houses. This is more of a front view. This is more of a 3/4 or a profile view. And here's some other types: doors, windows, roofs. So at this point in time, we're going to draw our house. If I'm drawing this one, this is the standard shape I like to start with. So I draw a line here, and if it helps you to start with a box like this, and then go up and do your triangle like this, and then you can come in and erase that line, or you can use that line as a decorative piece, whatever you decide. Then I'm just going to go straight across here and straight down. Then this needs to follow this line here to make it look 3D. So I'm going to go ahead and follow this line and come up, but I want to stop so this can connect straight across. So now that's my roof. And I'm going to go ahead and make a little chimney, which I normally do with a rectangle and another rectangle. And now we have the basic shape of the house. So you can go ahead and decorate it however you like. All right, so at this point in time, go ahead and start decorating your house how you might want to do it. I'm going to just add some windows in the front. I put one right here. I want a tin roof, so I'm going to draw mine in that direction. I think I'm going to draw some sliver windows like this. You know, I could put some bushes if I'd like out in the front. If you want to add any details to your house, you can go ahead and do that. I'm just going to keep it kind of simple. So if you need to hit pause to finish up your house, go ahead and hit pause. Otherwise, we're going to move on to the next step. So the next step would be just get your Sharpie marker or your whatever marker you have, and we're going to go ahead and outline, go over our lines. And remember, if you don't exactly go over your lines, it's okay because we can erase later. And if you have like a thinner Sharpie or a thicker Sharpie, I might recommend that, especially for the trees, to make them thinner, because we might go in and add some color. And if you're watercoloring, you really want to make sure if you're watercoloring that you erase all your pencil lines so you don't see them through. And I'll do that after I go over all my lines. And for the next part, when you are finished, we're going to be getting our color pencils out, and we'll start doing the sky first. And so with my color pencils, I want to think, what type of a sky do I want? Do I want it to be like a sunset or sunrise? If you're doing more of like a sunrise, here's some different color options. This is like red, orange, and yellow. And then I did red, orange, yellow here, but then I added blue on top to make it more like it's setting. This is like a wintry day, which is blue, purple, and yellow. And then a wintry night would just be the blue, purple, and yellow, but adding more blue on top of it to make the sky a little bit darker. So it's up to you what kind of night sky that you want to do. So once you're done outlining all of your lines, make sure you go in with your eraser and erase it all. And then go ahead and grab those color pencils. All right, so for mine, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a wintry sky, but I think I'm going to do a wintry night sky. So I'm going to do like the one that's right here. So for my wintry night sky, I'm going to be grabbing my purple, my blue, my yellow pencils. All right, so now we're ready. So I've got my purple, blue, and I'm going to go with my yellow pencil. So I like to start with my blue first, and I'm going to go ahead and just slightly shade the background with blue. Sometimes I try to do it in strips. Sometimes I color the whole area. So sometimes I just leave it like that, and then I might go in with some purple and bring the purple up into the blue. And I'm going to bring my purple down here. And then the next step is I'm going to end up bringing my blue again back in, and I'm going to put it a little bit darker here and then bring it down lightly. I'm going lighter, so I'm adding some of my blue to my purple. Now if I wanted to make it a darker sky, I can just go in here and add some more strips. Just go like with some little lines to get it a little bit darker. And then I'm going to take this yellow and I'm going to put more yellow down here because I want it to be like the sun is setting kind of. So I'm going to put more down here, more at the bottom, so it's kind of evenly distributed. And then I'm going to bring some lines up into the top. So now I have this beautiful sunset sky. And I forgot to say, I did in this one, I added a moon. If you wanted to add a moon or any other different features to it that I don't have, go ahead and do that. So now the next part is you're going to go ahead and color in. Now remember, if you're doing watercolor, I would try to recommend doing like a 3-color blend. You want colors next to each other on the color wheel or colors that blend well, like primary colors. So you might like do blue and purple and then add a little red because all those colors kind of work together. You can do some yellow if you wanted to add yellow into it, but just remember that yellow and blue will make green. Okay, and you're going to go ahead and paint your whole thing in if you're doing watercolors. But if you're with me, now you're going to go in and I want to add some accent to my green little trees with my color pencil. And sometimes I just do it with one color. And then sometimes I add some other color. Sometimes I add yellow to it to kind of bring out different colors. Or sometimes I shade it lighter and then I push it harder. It's up to you. You're the artist. You make those decisions. I'm going to make sure I color in my house. Okay, I'll do my roof here. And you're going to color all the different parts in. I'm going to leave most of it white because it is a wintry, it's supposed to be like we're up in Alaska or we're up somewhere where it's really cold and there's just snow everywhere, a really wintry place. All right, now if you would like to too, sometimes I go in here with my pencil, my regular pencil, and I'm just gonna lightly, very lightly, very, very lightly shade in these little parts here. And if you don't want to, you don't have to. This just kind of helps show that it's like the shadowy, the shaded side of the mountain. So I sometimes go in and I will add these different little parts to it here, and then come down here and add them down here. And I forgot to erase some of my pencil lines down here, but I can do that later. And then you're done. I hope you guys like this. And if not, I hope you had fun with doing the watercolors if you tried that. And I will see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye.